Welcome to Star Wars 101. Today we're going to talk about the strong possibility that Obi-Wan knew about Anakin killing the Tusken Raiders. But before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below telling us what you think of this possibility. And with all that said, let's do it. So we're going to start off with an excerpt from the book Kenobi, which is Legends. Chapter 43, Ben is conversing with a Tusken Raider tribal leader, Ayark, as they hide in the sand cliffs on Tatooine. Ayark knew that Ben deserved death for bringing this upon them. She would give it to him, were it in her power. But in the light of the suns, she had to admit their fall had begun long before he arrived. "It went wrong," she said, not knowing why she was speaking. "We are so weak. Tuskens are all so weak because of what happened more than 3 cycles ago." Ben looked at her curious. "What happened?" "There was another massacre," she said. "A camp of mighty warriors wiped away, the women and children too." For some reason, her words seemed to strike a target deep within Ben. "The children, all killed. A crate dragon, some other predator." Ayark shook her head. "A predator, yes, but death came on 2 legs, she said. "But the children," Ben said. "Settlers don't usually kill them, do they?" "Settlers orphan. Settlers abandon," she said. "Predator, slaughtered." Ben paused, as if seeming to piece something together. "I wonder." Ayark saw his eyes fix forward, filling with dread. It looked to her as if Ben was in another place now, imagining or experiencing something that filled his mind with horror. "What?" she asked. Ben regained his composure. "Something I'm going to have to look into at another time," he said. "I'm starting to suspect the Sand People's confidence may not have been the only victim of that event." And this is where we'll end. So this gives us a lot of information to go off of, starting with the words 3 cycles ago. 3 cycles in the Star Wars universe equals 3 years in our time, which is how long Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith are set apart. Of course, her saying "the women and the children too" clearly gives us a major hint. But also, the way Obi-Wan seems to stop and think about that for a second. And after he clarifies with her that it couldn't have been settlers or another predator, he seemed to piece something together in his head, his eyes filled with dread. I'm betting that in that moment, he figured out that there was more to the story when he found out that Anakin had traveled to Tatooine those 3 years ago, just before he got the message that Obi-Wan was in trouble on Geonosis. Of course, he probably already knew that it had to do with his mother, but even then, I'm sure he noticed a change in Anakin, like in the Revenge of the Sith novelization. Obi-Wan kept hoping to hear some of Anakin's old cocky grin in his tone, but he never did. Not since Jabim, perhaps not since Geonosis. Maybe at that moment, it all came together and Obi-Wan finally figured it out. I mean, the slaughtering of the children, the 3 years in between, the fact that Anakin's mother was kidnapped by the Tusken Raiders 3 years prior, with Anakin going there to try and save her, and the change in him after that event. Obi-Wan could have quite possibly pieced it all together, and discovered the truth. But even if he did, this is all from Legends, and so far no canon evidence of him finding out has been found or made. Still, it's very cool to think that Obi-Wan could have known about the slaughtering of the Sand People by Anakin's hands, even if it is from Legends. As always, I would love to hear all of your opinions on the matter, and if you haven't, go and give Kenobi by John Jackson Miller a read or listen. I enjoyed the book very much. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like I said before, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below telling me what you think of this excerpt from the book Kenobi. And with all that said, I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you, always.